Welcome to Red Mix Facts. And today we're diving deep into the world of, you guessed it, samurai. Now I'm talking about the real deal, not the Hollywood version with flying ninjas and magical swords. We're going to separate fact from fiction, bust some myths, and uncover the truth about these legendary warriors. So, if you're ready for a wild ride through history, grab your ramen bowls because things are about to get epic. Let's get right into it. All right, first up, let's talk about the Samurai Code, also known as Bushido. Now, you've probably heard all about it. Honor, loyalty, courage, all that jazz. And sure, those were important values to the samurai. But here's the thing. The Bushido Code, as we know it today, was actually formalized much later, during the Edo period. That's like centuries after the samurai first appeared. Think about it, for hundreds of years these warriors were fighting for survival, battling it out for land and power. Do you really think they were always following some strict moral code? I mean, we've all seen those history documentaries, right? Back then it was all about alliances, betrayals, and doing whatever it took to come out on top. That's not exactly what you'd call honorable all the time, is it? So yeah, while the Bushido Code did influence samurai culture, especially in later years, it wasn't this rigid set of rules that everyone followed religiously. The real samurai world was much more complex and, let's be honest, a lot more brutal. Now, this next myth might ruffle some feathers, but here it is. Not all samurai were these noble warriors fighting for justice and righteousness. Shocking, I know. In reality, being a samurai was more like a profession, kind of like being a soldier today. And just like in any profession, you had your good apples and your bad apples. Some samurai were basically hired guns, mercenaries who would fight for whoever paid them the most. They weren't exactly loyal to any particular lord or cause, they just followed the money. And then you had the samurai, who were more interested in power than anything else. They'd play different sides against each other, switching allegiances whenever it benefited them. These guys were like the masterminds behind the scenes, pulling the strings and manipulating everyone around them. Not exactly the image of the honorable warrior, right? But hey, that's just the reality of it. Not every samurai was a noble hero. Some were just trying to survive, while others were in it for the power and the money, just like people today. Okay, let's talk about seppuku, also known as harakiri, the infamous samurai ritual suicide. Now, Hollywood loves to portray seppuku as this honorable act of atonement, right? The samurai realizes he's dishonored himself or his lord, so he takes his own life to preserve his honor. Very dramatic, very cinematic. But the truth, as always, is a bit more complicated. While seppuku could be performed voluntarily as a way to die with honor, it was often used as a punishment, especially for samurai who had disobeyed their lord or committed some serious offense. Imagine being forced to take your own life. Not because you wanted to, but because it was the only way to avoid bringing shame upon your family. Not so honorable now, is it? And here's another thing, sometimes seppuku was even faked. That's right, some samurai found ways to make it look like they performed the ritual when they actually survived. They might have had someone else deliver the killing blow or use tricks to make it seem more gruesome than it actually was. Hey, when your life is on the line, you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, last but not least, let's debunk the myth that samurai only used katanas. Sure, the katana was a badass sword, and it was a symbol of the samurai class, but these guys were practical warriors and they weren't afraid to use whatever tools they needed to win a fight. So what else did samurai carry into battle? Well, for starters, they often had a wakizashi, a shorter sword that they could use for close combat or as a backup weapon. Think of it like the samurai version of a sidearm. And believe me, when you're in the middle of a chaotic battlefield, having a backup weapon could mean the difference between life and death. But it wasn't just swords. Samurai also used bows and arrows, spears, naginata, which are basically giant spears with blades, and even early firearms. That's right, these guys were adaptable and always looking for an edge in battle. So, the next time you see a samurai movie where the only weapon they use is a katana, just remember, there's a lot more to the story. So there you have it, guys. The real story of the samurai, myths busted. These legendary warriors were more than just sword-wielding heroes. They were complex individuals with their own motivations, flaws, and yes, even some sneaky tricks up their sleeves. But that's what makes history so fascinating, right? It's not always pretty or straightforward, but it's always full of surprises. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the samurai. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.